You want me to talk in the mic?
Yeah.
See if it's the bad mic or the good mic.
Check.
Unique,
Unique.
unique,
Unique.
your.
A little bit louder.
A little bit louder.
A little bit louder now.
Are we gonna go golfing later? Get out there.
Well, we're gonna do something with our sticks.
When I go to Vegas, I try to spend the least amount of money possible because I'm a very cheap person.
Here's what I won't be saying on the podcast, Griffin.
What's that?
The real Vegas story that won't make it here.
I went to church 3 times in one day there.
Did a
2-day volunteer retreat at an orphanage.
Wow.
Drank an
excessive amount of high-calorie sodas and ate too many salty sweets and processed foods.
And probably spent
A little bit too much on cutesy Las Vegas-themed refrigerator magnets.
in a 4-hour period. All right, everybody, it's the Shut-Ins with Griff and Chris. I'm Griff. Wait,
You're Chris and I'm Griff.
Oh,
but sometimes they sound pretty similar.
What do you mean?
My name has been confused before with Chris. Like people, what's your name? Griff. Oh, Chris. No. There's a couple different letters.
Like at Starbucks or something?
Yeah, Starbucks. Yeah,
What do they
pickup
call you?
orders. Honestly, I started using Chris when I would go and pick up food because it just wasn't worth the effort.
Hey, let me get a name for that.
Yeah. Oh, Griffin. Oh, Christian. Christian. No, not Christian. Kristen? No, not a female.
Not.
I guess there was Kristen Michael for the Seahawks. That was a few years ago.
So you just gave up and you go by
Yeah.
Chris at Starbucks?
Yeah, it's Chris. I've been called Burton, Chipper. I don't know how some of these names get.
But you like your name?
I do. It's
You
pretty.
just
neat.
go by Chris at Starbucks.
Exactly. It's not worth the effort of explaining.
Yeah.
It's really not. But I do like my name though.
I don't even know if I like my name. Like, I guess. There was a time when I was 12 that I asked my mom to call me Kip because I had just finished a basketball camp and one of the coaches that I admired was named Kip. And so I was on a road trip with my mom and sister, 14-hour road trip to Canada. And at about hour 3, I was done with Kip.
Yeah.
My mom was like, well, Kip, McDonald's, Kip.
Yeah.
Kip.
Probably wasn't a big fan of the name change, but it sounds like she kind of worked it against you. So
There was a time about 10 years ago where I tried to launch a podcast and my name was Bison Davis.
Oh.
Real stupid. It was actually my drunk alter ego from college, just as a way to assuage any responsibility for my acts.
Oh.
It wasn't Chris that did that and, got up on the bar and did an AT from Star Wars impersonation. That was Bison Davis. So,
wow.
yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't hate to see that impression, to be honest.
You do it. After we golf,
Okay.
it is Sunday, which means it's pretty much a Saturday for all Sealils, which is another one of my aliases. That's what my kid calls me, is Sealils.
Silos. Yeah. I remember that. That goes back to high school.
Well, we can have a drink after, and you can meet Bison. He comes out when Bacardi comes out. But so the Pope died this week.
I heard.
The playoffs started, NBA, NHL.
Yeah.
New low water marks for the erosion of democracy. Real boilerplate stuff, boring stuff.
Yeah. Pretty
Kanye
standard.
West is now a gay white supremacist.
Yeah, he had an interesting disclosure this past week.
Yeah, man, he is.
I think some things can be kept private. You don't have to share everything. I would have been okay if he'd kept that one in the closet.
Reenacting certain magazine positions, shall we say, with your cousin, and then putting that out. He also said that he would have rather had kids with Paris Hilton than Kim Kardashian.
Wow.
So, that's not going to fuck with his kids at all.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to say.
Real stand-up guy. I hope I can separate art from artist. I've always had a hard trouble with Michael Jackson for that, but like one of my favorite rap albums of all time is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I think it's an opus magnum as far as like rap from the 2010s. So, but wearing a KKK suit and Hitler iced out swastika.
Not a good look.
Like crashing out on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, not great.
But other than that, real slow news week. There's also, what stood out to me, Griff, was the female empowerment of several notable women going to space.
Oh, very newsworthy. Like, it got a lot of coverage.
Oprah's bestie.
Gayle King, yes.
Jeff Bezos, his new jump-off chick.
Yes, are they married, dating?
I don't think it's prudent for Jeff Bezos to get married without the world's most ironclad, like Iron Bank ironclad.
Oh man,
prenup.
Iron Bank always collects.
Also, notable Rhodes Scholar Katy Perry. She went to space.
Yes.
Nothing screams women empowerment like nepotism and a $10 million air quote trip to space.
11 minutes. It was
11.
Or 10?
10, 11? Okay.
Yeah, somewhere there.
This stupid idiot, whose most recent album has fewer listeners than even our last podcast, she went to space for female empowerment, but it seemed really more just like a Hail Mary for her upcoming tour. And then she proceeded to kiss the ground when she got back to Earth. Like she was Magellan, like finding like terra firma after being adrift at sea.
Pretty similar.
Yeah, right. And now she called herself an astronaut for that. Because she was in space for 10 minutes, 11 minutes. Yeah. It's like me calling myself a plumber because I was on the bowl this morning for 10 minutes. I'm a plumber.
Oh, I don't think so.
In the bathroom.
I'm a little torn on this because like I think it's a little offensive to like the real astronauts that go through all this training and stuff. To be fair, and I guess I took it a little bit differently when William Shatner went to space, and I think it's probably because
he's 107 years old.
Exactly.
That was also Captain Kirk.
Yes. So I think that was the difference for me. That he was older and obviously had the connotations with space and being in Star Trek and stuff. I'm sure that was very life-changing for him. It felt a little bit more canned with Katy Perry, and I don't know. I don't think Captain Kirk was calling himself an astronaut either.
She's had a PR disaster from it.
And she's already kind of walked back. Like, she's kind of like, I kind of regret saying the stuff I said and, like, acting like an astronaut.
Yeah.
Because definitely has gotten some backlash.
Yeah. Well, she's kicked off her tour recently to promote this steamer of an album. And, of course, she starts it in Mexico City because a developing country that doesn't speak your language is the perfect place to kick off a tour. Especially when they don't understand how bad your songs are.
Makes sense.
There's a video, did you see this, of her dancing?
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, it looks like a hyena barfing up a meerkat. But like she got hot-footed in the dugout.
see, I can relate more to the hot-footing because believe it or not, I haven't seen a hyena barfing up a meerkat before. I'll take your word that it looked similar. The hot footing.
Dude, it looked like she got chased by invisible bees. Remember Ray Gun from the Paris Olympics?
Oh,
yeah, Ray Gun looks like the fucking Jabberwockies in comparison. You know the Jabberwockies, like the breakdancing?
Yeah.
You just came from Vegas. Did you see do they still have a residency?
Oh, I didn't see the signs this time. They might not. They very well could. I did not watch them. They were there for a number of years. And I remember... I think it was when the All-Star game was in Las Vegas. I think it was like 2007.
Yeah, when they were trying to push the...
Yeah, and Shaq came out with the Jabberwockies mascot and did
the heartbeat thing.
Yeah.
You were just in Vegas, though. Did you go to any shows? Like
No.
You didn't do Carrot Top, Penn and Teller?
No.
You're more of a Thunder from Down Under guy?
No, not exactly.
What'd you do in Vegas, though? Where'd you stay?
My trips to Vegas are probably for a very... small, unique set of people. I don't do shows, I'm not sitting out by the pool, no cabanas. I love to gamble. I like playing certain table games, blackjack, Pai-Gow poker. I love playing poker tournaments.
Pai-Gow? You're like a true derelict.
Truly a derelict. Sports betting, and I like doing it for like all day, like for 12 hours, with a few breaks for lunch, dinner. It's not for everyone.
Do you wear like a diaper when you're on a hot streak?
No diapers, no diapers. That's a whole different level of derelict. But I try to do Vegas on the cheap.
But is Vegas still cheap at all? Like $4.99 prime ribs?
Maybe off strip. I don't know. It's like you have a burger and fries and a beer. It's a $50 lunch. Yeah. It adds up quickly. Honestly, it's a little bit of like when you go, it's kind of like funny money. You take what you were comfortable losing or gambling or paying.
It's just paper.
And it's just like you just kind of go with it. But I do try and keep the expenses down. I'm not super proud of saying this. I did stay at the Luxor. The kind of person that stays at the Luxor calls it the Luxor because I was on a tram with this gentleman that was also staying at the hotel with me, and he's, oh yeah, we're staying at the Luxor. I'm like, no, that's not how it's pronounced. It's the Luxor.
It's Luxor.
Luxor. Yeah, Luxor. Not
like
Luxor.
Lex Luthor versus Lex Luthor.
Yeah, it's not Luxor. It's not a Luxor,
I'm assuming this guy had the socks with sandals thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was a disaster. But anyways, they give me a free room occasionally. I have to pay the ridiculous resort fees. It's still $45 a day or whatever. But anyways, so, like, sign up for a player's card. They keep track of your gambling, and evidently I lose enough every trip that they'll toss me a few nights free at the Luxor. It's very fancy. Had a real fun 1:30 wake-up call with the fire alarm going off. Didn't know if it was a real fire or not. Walked out into the hall, and I was on one of those floors that overlooks the King Tut exhibit. So other people were coming out of their rooms. There was an announcement coming over the speakers. You couldn't understand anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Charlie Brown teacher.
Yeah. So really, really effective, pretty safe. Called the front desk to try and confirm. 1:30, I'm not at my, sharpest. May have had a few drinks. Called down to the front desk. Is this anything I need to worry about? Excuse me? Click.
Well, you are 41 now.
And I'm like...
Perhaps it was coming from
you. Went back to bed. I'm like, if I roast alive in my room, I guess that's just the way it goes. But...
You really you didn't have the bandwidth to just get up, put on a robe and some shoes and just go down to the lobby and say, hey, anybody else, where are you landing on this?
It didn't seem like an emergency. I just rolled the dice.
Yeah.
I just
rolled the dice on your life.
Exactly.
You're so lazy that not wanting to get up, you were willing to basically play Russian roulette. 3 out of 6 barrels had a... had a bullet in the chamber.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I've definitely...
It was a calculated risk. I figured there'd probably be hundreds of deaths if I was going to die. Yeah. I wouldn't have gone alone.
Yeah, it's just, you guys would take like a group taxi upstairs, right? Jesus. So you won at poker, or?
I did. I didn't do as well as sometimes. Poker tournament's pretty variable. I got third in one, won a few $100, but otherwise didn't cash.
Did you pay for your trip?
I did not pay for my trip. I was definitely down on the trip, but it was good. It was good. Try and play those money extending games, Pai-Gow poker. Very social. Not a lot of money changes hands. Lots of ties. Good way to get relatively cheap drinks.
What's the longest that you sat and played for?
Like a single session?
Yeah.
Probably 10 hours, maybe?
That's substantial.
Yeah. It was several years ago. Because I think we started around 7 o'clock in the evening. As Vegas goes, there's no clocks. You have no sense of time.
That's by design.
Inadvertently played until 4 a.m. But magically, somehow, won like $150.
I think I did probably 1 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you start seeing the sun through the front doors.
Yes.
And I was up pretty good amount playing Hold'em at the very classy establishment, the Hooters Hotel.
Wow.
R.I.P. Also R.I.P. to the Trop nearby. I think the Hooters is still up, but it's rebranded something else.
Yeah. I can't think of what it is, but I believe it is no longer Hooters.
Where every one of the dealers is like a Vietnamese with some enhancements, shall we say. But very, very good. Very nice. None of that, no trickery from the bottom of the deck there.
Yeah.
But on that specific hand, I think it was like an $800 pot. And the guy, I was, I had like three of a kind. What beats that? Full house, right?
Full house,
yeah,
flush.
One of those. I like played it right, even though I could barely see straight. I was like, I know.
Yeah.
Which I was completely on autopilot, but I've been playing for all night. So
exactly.
I haven't really played. My biggest bets lately, I put in $8 on the Warriors game last night, thinking that Jimmy Butler was going to play. Of course, playoff Jimmy did not play for the second straight time, but Steph chewed his mouthpiece to victory. And I got $13, Griff.
Sweet.
They call me Money, not Kip anymore. That's Christopher M. Lilly, and M for...
I thought the M stood for Marion. Is that not true?
Marion, like Marion Cotillard from terrible death scenes in great Batman movies.
That was terrible.
Yeah. She copped to it, too.
The death scene.
Yeah.
I was thinking more Marion Butts, formerly of the San Diego Chargers.
Or the mayor, something Marion, who was caught on camera smoking crack, the mayor of D.C. back in the day.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Forgot about that.
So that is also a connection to my middle name. I cannot, in good conscience, keep my marriage or my house or not be deported by ICE telling any of my Vegas stories. So I'll just dabble and say there was one time I went for a bachelor party with some friends, and we parted ways at about 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
The next time they saw me was about a day later. They were leaving for the airport, and I was partying with a Danish death metal band at the bar at the Hooters. Yeah.
That sounds like quite the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I have some Vegas stories. One that's pretty funny. This is a few years ago. So I take like an annual trip with some friends, usually every October. And we were gambling at the Aria. And...
Is that the one where it looks like the buildings are falling over?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And it's a little bit like back off the strip, and it's pretty big.
Cool architecture.
Yeah.
A little off strip.
Yeah. But we were gambling in there, and it's like casinos are designed to keep you in. They don't make it easy to exit. They make it confusing by design. And so, all of us, a couple drinks, pretty late. We ended up going out the wrong side of the Aria, on the back side of the Aria, not the strip side. And the door's locked behind you when you go out the wrong exit. And so we're out.
The backside of Aria is like the freeway.
Yeah. Exactly. No,
it's like I-15.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a problem. So we're trying to navigate back to the strip, and we're basically walking alongside I-15, and there are chain link fences with padlocks on the sidewalks. I don't know why, some kind of construction or something. And we were scared that we were going to get killed by cars. Yeah. And we have to get off this road.
You're on like the shoulder of an interstate.
Yeah, so we finally got back to like close to the strip. Like we were on the strip, it's at a ways to go. We're like, this is getting very dangerous. So we decided we needed to scale one of these chain link fences. And they were not like leapable height. You definitely had to do a toe hold and get over. So my brother and the people I was with are approximately 10 years older than me. So I was the youngest of the group. My brother did like high school track, but so he got up, toe hold, put his foot on the top, and kind of leapt over.
Real quick for context.
Yes.
Gym class, elementary school. Were you ever able to successfully complete either the rope climb or that bar climb?
Never. Not even close.
Not even close. Two, maybe one hand overs for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, I was a little fatty boy, so.
No,
fatty kids.
Anything like, rope climb, no. So anyways, my brother clears it pretty good. I go second.
Or die.
Yeah, so anyways, I get up there, get the foot on the top, kind of like start throwing myself over a little bit. My toe on the other side kind of catches, and I do this very uneloquent pirouette spin to the ground with started with landing very hard on my right ankle and then twisting and spinning to the ground where I'm basically in a seated position. I made it, but my ankle, like, it hurt for like 3 months after this.
Yeah.
It was like a bad twist.
I'm envisioning John Elway helicopter tackle kind of thing, upside down.
Probably less graceful than that. So anyways, the 2 guys left. The next guy up did the exact same thing I did. And the 4th guy, we couldn't believe it. Like, it had like the little jagged things on the top of the fence where it was like poking upwards. He was like straddling it. And I don't know how he didn't seriously injure himself doing that. But anyways, very scary. Almost killed on the strip. Did not die. Had a hurt ankle for a couple months, but that's how it goes.
So your Vegas story is more of a hapless summer misadventure than a Vegas related, like, oh, I got slipped a bunch of GHGB by a prostitute at the Circus and ended up on the back of a truck on my way to Tucson with a giant scar where my liver used to be.
That is true. A little bit different than that. Yes.
All right. Maybe we are yet to go down there together.
Yes.
So perhaps I can inject some real world Vegas-y true debauchery.
Yeah, I can't even imagine you and I in Vegas together because we had a all-night poker session here in Bozeman
if we did that in Bozeman
ago.
But that's 15. I've aged out of that. I can't even do a 1 a.m. in Three Forks, Montana, but it's... Yeah.
You did get a signed hat, though, because you made Royal Flush?
Royal Flush from the former KO's club.
Yes.
East Main, which is probably a $7 espresso shop by now. But that's Bozeman for you. What else went on this week? Oh, the NFL draft was yesterday. What are your thoughts? I mean, obviously the takeaway, I think, is not even like who was drafted in the first couple of rounds. Why Shedeur Sanders fell all the way to the 5th. I was following it latently, but not really watching it. I know you were...
Yeah, so I watched the whole first round Thursday night. Definitely a big surprise that he didn't get drafted in the first round, nor the second round, nor the third round.
And he was saying, I'll be a top 5 pick. His dad was saying, don't... What is the story there? Obviously, is it race related or is it Deion Sanders related?
It's a great question. I think it could be a little bit of both. It just kind of reminds me a little bit of the Lamar Jackson situation a couple of years ago.
Collusion.
When he was franchise tagged, but any team could have signed him and given up 2 first-round picks, and he's arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Definitely, I would say he's top 3 for sure, up there with Mahomes and Josh Allen. You could make the argument that he's ahead of those guys, but it was bizarre that no team even offered him a contract, including the Falcons at the time, and they said it was just like a system fit, and obviously I didn't buy it. I think it was sending him a message, I think it was a reaction to the Deshaun Watson contract where he got the fully guaranteed deal and Cleveland.
Yeah, he was just trying to see what the market...
Yeah, so it reminded me of that. So I think it was partially race-related. I think it was partially kind of directed at Deion, like, this is something you can't control, you can't manufacture everything. I think he can still go on and have a great career. I think the Browns ended up making a great pick. They took him in the 5th round, and that doesn't mean that he can't still make a ton of money. It's just... The
Browns and a Deion Sanders kid. I mean... The Browns are known for developing their quarterbacks, right? I think they've had even more quarterback carousel than the Denver Broncos in the past 10 years. Easy, 20 years. For sure.
Yeah, they're best known for developing their quarterbacks out of the league. Yeah, they really thrive there.
It's like me with my exes. I'm always their last ex before they get married.
Yeah, they're kind of the lone exception, and they obviously didn't think very highly of him. But my guy Baker Mayfield on the Bucs, he was drafted number 1 overall by the Browns, and he kind of had a career resurgence the last couple of years with the Buccaneers. So I'm going to give the Bucs the credit on that one, not the Browns, because they cast him out for Deshaun Watson, who can't stay.
I thought he still had some gas in the tank or whatever, but
yeah,
evidently he sexually assaulted his way to sucking at football.
Yeah, he needs to keep his towel on. I think that would be a good start, and then also staying healthy and not throwing a million picks.
Yeah, I didn't watch the draft though. So what else was the story? Cam
Cam Ward won
Ward
number
was
one
one.
overall.
Travis Hunter, who was actually good on call. I mean, Shedeur Sanders is good, but people were saying beyond his personality issues, and I guess he get bad interviews. Like he's just not that strong at playing quarterback. He's athletic, but
Yeah, he had pretty good stats, and like some of the talent evaluators liked his tape.
Travis Hunter got selected. The Gene T guy from Boise State went to the Raiders, which I don't like because I like Gene T, or John T. How do you?
Yeah,
John T.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jonty, I think.
Yeah, he
But
went to the Raiders.
Travis Hunter, that was a good trade for the Jags to move up to 2 and get him. You're getting literally a two-way player that can play offense and defense. I think he'll probably be, based on what the pundits were saying, being primarily used on offense. But getting a good player on both sides of the ball in one pick seemed like tremendous value. So
Would you ever go to an NFL draft? Like, what is the appeal there?
I would not. It just seems like there's an unbelievable amount of people there. It looks oppressive how many people are out there in that crowd.
And for what?
And
Like, it's not football season. It reminds me of the people that take, when I'm hiking in the summer in the mountains in Montana,
yeah,
it'll be like a patch out of the entire mountain range, a patch of snow left. And you'll see some guy named like Hunter or Braxton or Turner with skis on their back in July hiking up to a 3-second patch of snow. It's like, just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Do something else.
totally agree.
You happy with your team, though?
Yeah, I thought they did pretty good drafting. They took the receiver out of Ohio State in the first round. I don't know if that was their biggest need, but Mike Evans has been absolutely unbelievable to start his career. So consistent. Chris Godwin coming off a big injury, so they drafted another receiver. They had a good young rookie last year, Jalen McMillan, who did really good. But age and injuries, and they were very shorthanded for a few weeks. So I didn't hate the pick. He was a good player. Definitely needs some help on defense, but they addressed that in the next couple rounds. They took a couple defensive backs and a defensive end later. They actually signed Deion's other son, Shiloh Sanders, as a undrafted free agent. I think he was a safety.
He was the one that Deion said was in the power rankings of his own family, his own boys. He was like third or something.
It sounds right.
He's the kind of guy that power ranks his own kids.
Yeah.
So I went to University of Montana, and it's not often that a Big Sky Conference player gets even really drafted. Occasionally, like, a defensive guy, you have your offensive guys that typically make the league and stay in there, but a more, what would be the word, like jazzy position, like an end or quarterback, like the Big Sky, Junior Bergen from U of M, return specialist, got selected by the Niners, and then Tommy Millott, touchdown Tommy
from Montana Bobcats. Got drafted by the Raiders in the
Raiders.
Yeah, so touchdown Tommy, he actually got drafted as a wide receiver since it's difficult to make the NFL as a quarterback. Just didn't have the size, but his measurables were outstanding. It was 4.43 40, I think, and
Malot's gonna play receiver.
Yeah. He's
kind of big, or is he gonna be like a tight end type guy or a slot?
No. He's tiny. Like the comparison he's been getting is like Julian Edelman. Edelman was actually a college quarterback as well, and he was one of the best slot receivers for about 10 years for the Patriots and with Tom Brady. So they're kind of speed size comparisons. Obviously, that would be quite the ceiling for him to reach Julian Edelman levels.
Yeah.
But good for him. I'm really excited. I mean, he's going to outwork everybody, and he was so fun to watch for 4 years at Montana State.
My favorite MSU Bobcat of all time, when I was still a Bobcat fan, because I grew up in Bozeman, but I definitely went to the dark side, at least in your opinion,
It's understandable.
changing to the Grizz because my fucking student loans went there, but also they were really good at the time. So,
Yeah.
but I grew up a Bobcat fan, and my hero was named Sean Hill, and
I remember
he
Sean Hill.
played for MSU Bobcats. I think he had a touchdown return, took it all the way against the Grizz and the Cat Grizz game, but they call that the Brawl of the Wild in like 91 or 92. I'm like 6. He was my babysitter's boyfriend or friend of her, some kind of connection. He went to my 6th grade, he went to my birthday when I was 6. And I just remember like hugging him, and I was just hugging his leg or something.
Nice.
And growing up on the side of a hill in Bozeman, Montana in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, not a lot of like African American people around. And so
This is true.
he was like the first black guy I ever saw, and he was my hero, and he was awesome in football. And so just kind of like that was a cool introduction to multiculturalism for me. But
Yeah.
he ended up playing, the next time I saw him after he left MSU was on Monday Night Football, returning for a touchdown as a Miami Dolphin.
Yeah, I do remember he played for the Dolphins. That was very cool. It's nice when players from both of our schools, Montana State, make the big time.
Yeah.
There haven't been very many. Montana, the ones offhand, I can think of Mark Mariani. He played for the Titans a number of years ago.
Yeah.
He had a connection with Jeff Fisher's son, who played for Montana as
Correct.
well, and I think that's kind of...
Troy Bierman for the Falcons.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And Trumaine Johnson, I think he got taken in the second round in 2012. He got a big contract from the Jets and then flamed out of the league, but he made a lot of money.
Okay, so let's stop dancing around it. Nico Harrison was considered an MSU, basically like Mount Rushmore.
For sure.
He's in the MSU Hall of Fame,
yes.
Montana State Bobcats Hall of Fame. He gets the Bobcats to the big dance in 1996, averaging only 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists a game. But he's a 3-time first-team All-Bigs guy. Selection after he transferred from Army. I didn't know that he went to Army, but
I didn't either.
I guess he's from the Pacific Northwest, and then he goes on to play in Europe and in Japan and in Lebanon too. He is now kind of persona non grata, especially in the Dallas Metroplex. But why don't you give a little context of his background before he takes this like villain arc, which was so surprising to us as, you know, you're still an MSU Bobcats fan. I don't really root against him. I'm just, you know, I'm an alum of the bad guys, I guess, over in Missoula. But you're still a true Bobcat fan, and you go to all the games. And, you know, Nico Harrison is considered royalty at Montana State.
Big time. No, he's still a very big deal in Bozeman. Definitely hero status. He had a career at Nike as an executive, and that's kind of
That's when I first heard of him again.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, obviously that's what opened the door to him becoming the general manager of the Mavericks. And we were very proud of him, like last year, about a year ago, where he made some pretty savvy trades, and the Mavs actually, I think they made the finals last year, I think.
They made the finals. They won 2 games?
Yeah, I think so.
It was 4-2.
Yeah.
On Luka's back, but I mean, they just didn't have the defense. And Luka, a little portly, not known for his defense. He's a little bit Ruben-esque. And Nico has an issue with that. And trades young for old, healthy for injured. One having a Frida Kahlo like unibrow. The other, just a double chin, a Slovenian double, as they call it. I believe that was what Melania's nickname used to be as well. But, like, he also, before we dive into the actual trade, you were saying, when we were kind of talking about the prep, he had, like, basically he bungled the Steph Curry signing for Nike.
So I read this online, so I don't know.
A lot of veracity there.
Yeah, so I don't know the credibility, but I know there was some story out there, and I don't know if someone was retroactively attributing it to Nico, but supposedly Nike had a meeting with Steph Curry when he was coming out of college, trying to recruit him to be a Nike person. And what I had read online, like I said, grain of salt, may not be true, but they said that it was Nico Harrison. It was his presentation. He just totally blew it. He had misspelled Stephen Curry's name. He inadvertently called him Seth a couple times in the meeting. I really hope it's not true, but it's out there. Might be true. Could be true. Hope it's not. But anyways, not a good look.
You called him Seth?
Yeah.
So it says here Seth Kearney from Wichita Tech.
Yeah, and not to defend him if that happened, but that is Steph's younger brother, Seth. They weren't trying to, recruit Seth at the time.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Seth and Seth. You must have loved being at their house when their mom was mad at them. My mom would be like, Elisa. Oh, yeah, my name's Elisa. I don't know if that happened with you and your brother, but you would like trash your mom for calling you the wrong name. Your mom's at her wit's end right now so much that she's calling you by another person.
Right.
The person she's around the most and the people she's around the most in her life, she's so frustrated by that she doesn't know who you are. That's what I have the perspective now. I'm on the other side of that. My poor mother. Ugh.
Oh, my mom definitely did that too. She would call me my brother's name occasionally.
You weren't a bad kid, were you?
No, I was really good growing up.
Your parents like you, not love you because they have to. You're like friends with your parents.
I think I'm pretty well liked by them. I think they like you more than me, though.
The last time I saw your parents, I went on some rant about how I got caught in a snowstorm, hiking the M. And then I was talking to you later. I was like, geez, I really didn't even come up for air during that anecdote. And then you said, yeah, my parents like listening to you talk. It wasn't, they like talking to you. Listening to you talk.
No, but they did say that. They were relating it to you being such a good storyteller. And
I don't think being domineering in a conversation and not letting another person talk is storytelling. I am getting better.
Regardless, they enjoyed it. It was a much different story than the usual boring stuff that I have to share with them about working from home as a banker and, the
cat walked to the other room on Tuesday.
Exactly. So a snowstorm from their favorite son from Three Forks.
Yeah.
They enjoyed it a lot. So
I am a lot of people's second son, and I don't know if I gravitate to that because my parents have passed, but I enjoy talking to my friends' parents. I don't know why.
I'm good. That way.
I'm good with, and I actually enjoy. I teach adult ed. I like the elderly, the feeble. I also had older parents, so our Saturday nights were we'd watch Lawrence Welk. Okay. It wasn't Home Alone 2 with my parents. It was people playing the accordion.
Oh,
yeah,
fun.
And I've got another ditty from Barbara and Richard singing. You've got another penny down the well, and a 5 and a 6. That's my Lawrence Welk. You don't know who Lawrence Welk is, do you?
I've heard the name. I can't tell if that's a good impression or not.
I don't think it. That it's.
It seems convincing.
North Dakota German. That's what I was going for. So
yeah, that seems like a weird mix, but yeah, okay. North Dakota German.
North Dakota German.
Okay. Okay.
Lawrence Welk. Well. Speaking of old people, Pope Francis. He's upstairs playing bocce with, I don't know, did the other Pope die yet?
Oh,
the one that was...
Benedict?
Yeah, that kind of had loose connections to Goebbels and
Right.
Is he still kicking it?
I think his surname was Ratzenberger or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And Pope Francis, cool Pope, he was Argentinian. I think his name was one of those Italian stock Argentinians like Messi... And the guy from the Spurs, half of it's a mix of Italy and Spain. That's Argentina. Ginobili, my bad. Yeah, I think his name was Bergoglio or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Bruschetta, tour of Italy.
Samsonite, we were away.
Samson, Bergoglio. So he's up there playing bocce with our Lord and Savior. Met with J.D. Vance on his last day.
I heard that. Yes.
I haven't. Watch any late night television because those jokes kind of write themselves, and I didn't want there to be any accusations about this bit. I'm about to, and you're looking at me like, please don't bungle this, but I'm going to go ahead with some jokes that I wrote.
Okay.
I haven't written jokes since probably the Hawk Talk in 2002, because I actually did do some bits. I opened for Cal Penn once for an Obama event.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Is this true?
I said that Obama was going to help my dog get off of her. I think she had some kind of drug addiction. There was some kind of bridge there with my older parents, older dog.
Yeah.
And how I was very happy that Nate Costa had got me a large shirt. I'm not a large. I'm not in like a 3X, but I'm certainly not a large.
Yeah. I'm not a large either.
Oh, by the way, I didn't give you your flowers, as the kids say, for beating me in March Massless. I didn't even weigh in. I was like, no, I didn't deserve to win. So I did.
I'll take the W. Yeah.
But so this is a list of the last things that Pope Francis said to J.D. Vance on the last day of the Pope's life. May he rest in peace. I grew up Catholic, so excuse me if this is blasphemous to anybody. And
can't wait to hear this.
Yeah. So okay. So this is. I'm not going to do an impression of the Pope, an elderly Argentinian / Italian melange of an accent. So just you can pepper that in your own imagination. Okay, listeners. So the Pope, talking to J.D. Vance, says, "Here at the Vatican, young men only wear guy liner in the priest's chambers." Right? Because of a millennia of molestation. That's what that joke is.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then J.D. Vance kind of has that going.
Yeah, weirdly dark eyelashes, even though he doesn't have dark hair. I mean, I don't know the genetics of that, but it's a look. It's a little weird look. Okay. The next thing that Pope Francis said to J.D. Vance on his last day: "Lap dogs are typically only permitted in St. Peter's Square." Right?
Nice.
Right? "You get a look at those Vatican walls? Yeah, we made Rome pay for them. Finished them too." All right.
Nice.
You brought your own couch, right?
Oh boy.
Because he fucks couches. And this one I think is twisting the knife a little bit there, but even Judas had the decency to leave after the bribe.
Oh man.
Okay, and now switching it. The last things J.D. Vance said to Pope Francis, and I'm sorry if these are hacky, but I'm kind of proud of my work on them, and I did not use ChatGPT, even though I very much should have. It would seem. Okay, here's my throwaway one that I shouldn't be reading, but I'm going to anyway. "I haven't seen this many Italians with gaudy jewelry since the last time I was in Atlantic City." Yikes. How about this one? They're getting better.
Okay.
"Does your boss also make you say, 'Hey, if anyone asks, I was at Applebee's'?" It's absurd because the Vatican probably doesn't have an Applebee's. Not only, it's also the president. Why would he go to? Because he's out cheating on his wife. That's
plus,
what that joke means.
He goes to McDonald's.
Yes. He goes, which is probably more expensive than Applebee's at this point. I had to take out a loan last time I went there for the fucking McRib.
Oh my gosh, it's gotten so. I don't eat there often, but it has gotten expensive. It's like over $10 for like
for one.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And it's not good.
Yeah. I don't even want to know what it's made of. I don't want to know its contents.
Yeah, but the fries, dude. I'll still go with the fries.
Fries are.
You have a clock. You can't eat them at home.
No.
It's 7 minutes
Oh,
before they turn to Play-Doh.
Yes. No, you got to eat them hot.
Or not Play-Doh, it's more like Jenga blocks.
Nice.
All right, how about this one? Hey, Pope, you going to keep on all those robes up there, or are you going to go for more of a Fort Lauderdale thing? That's where I'm going to put in the but-tis. How about this one? Hypothetically, Pope, how many Dogecoins would it take for an eternal sort of blanket pardon? You know, just kind of throw all the forgiveness in there, whatever makes sense. Remember that donut shop that he went in during the election? He's trying to act folksy.
Oh.
And the woman was completely taken flat-footed, and he's just like, has no idea how to bullshit with regular people.
He's a strange dude.
Yeah, he's definitely wearing some kind of lizard suit.
Yeah. That was a
Okay.
disaster. That was uncomfortable.
I thought the tide had turned there. Turns out people didn't see an
Yeah.
issue with that. I don't know. Maybe I've lost touch with the fact that that was really bad optics. But
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
How about this one? So the Swiss Guard outfits. Can I pick those up at Bass Pro, or is Vatican Tactical more of a Cabela's only type thing? All right, two to go. Mercifully, folks. Do you guys validate parking, or is it more of a forgive us our trespasses situation?
That's a good one. I
That
like
was
that
strong.
one.
That's up there with the Judas one.
I'd say that's like strong to quite strong.
Okay, and here's my personal favorite that fell entirely flat with everyone in the household, including my new puppy. Is that giant dome the entrance to the Bass Pro Shop? Because
That's gold, Chris.
gold.
Gold.
All right, I'm done, folks. Thank you for sticking in with that.
So you didn't lift any of those? None of that's lifted material. Those are all
That's all
Lil's
original.
Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So kind of circling back, I mean,
Okay, one wasn't.
One
wasn't.
One wasn't.
Which one do you think wasn't?
Which one was not an original?
It wasn't the couch one.
Maybe the Judas one, or was that a see was original?
The one that I asked for help, not actually saying please don't write it.
Okay.
I wanted to connect the idea between Trump's infidelities and his proclivity for shitty food, and so it was that.
Okay. Okay. That was a pretty good one though.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of this tailspin. Take us somewhere. Grab the yoke.
So
'cause
circling
this
back,
plane
I
is
mean, it's a
upside down.
little bit connected. As a big Lakers fan, I think not super religious, as you know, but I think the big guy may have intervened and gifted the Lakers Luka Doncic.
Oh, thank you.
We were talking about this.
Go back to Nico.
This crazy trade, and so remember, I think it was like a Saturday night. Get a message. I get alerts from ESPN, and it says
I
Luka.
thought I broke it to you. I just go Luca exclamation point.
Yes, actually, you did scoop it. That is true.
Yeah, I'm like TMZ.
Yeah, exactly. You're better than Chams or
James Charania
since he took Woj's spot as insider.
or Flex from Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, like this crazy trade comes out of nowhere. You scoop the story. Luka to the Lakers. I couldn't believe it. Like my first reaction was I was a big Anthony Davis fan. Loved AD. Unbelievably gifted defensive player. Won a championship with the team. But it's like you're getting a guy that's, I don't know, what is he, 24, 25 still?
Yeah,
It's like
26.
yeah, I mean, he is still he'll be in the prime of his career for the next potentially 10 years as long as he stays healthy. And it's just, I mean, what a coup. I mean, they gave up Anthony Davis. They gave up a first-round pick. What's his name? Max Christie. He went back to the Mavericks, and then, I don't know, they had to trade someone to the Jazz. What was bizarre about it is he didn't even, like, shop Luka. It was like he only talked to the Lakers. And
Well, that's why people think that it's dirty.
yeah.
That Lakers guy who played for Michigan, what's his name? Palinka?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Who was-
Yeah. He was Kobe's agent, and then he became the AD, or the...
Nominally friends, though, with Nico, and might have
Yeah.
massaged their friendship into, like, basically destroying the Mavs franchise for a generation.
Yeah, crazy. And, yeah, just an absolutely wild trade.
It doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't.
Like,
I'm like beyond ecstatic as a Lakers fan, and I thought this was a nice gesture. I read that Rob Pelinka had said that they were going to erect a statue of Nico Harrison outside of the Crypto.com
It's nice.
arena because he's one of the all-time Lakers.
Is that what the Staples Center is now?
It's Crypto.com, which I don't love that name as much. I know it's like
I don't do the name change.
Yeah.
Like Sears Tower, it's not Willis.
Yeah, I
It's the
agree,
Staples
but
Center.
Staples Center, but it's Crypto.com.
It's still Mile High
Yeah.
to me.
Like, and then Comiskey Park in Chicago, it's like best rate towing or something now. I have no idea. It's something bizarre. I refuse to call it that, but crazy trade. Obviously, it backfired immediately. Anthony Davis, very injury prone, had a dominant first half in his first game for the Mavericks, and then he was like out for like a month.
Was that he was out of turbo.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I still love your description of Nikola Jokic for the Denver Nuggets, like looking like he's like maxed out turbo at all times.
There's none left on his meter.
It's just
and it doesn't recharge
perfect
fast
description. Enough. If anyone's ever played 2K, NBA, anything, you know what we're talking about.
Jokic plays like he's out of turbo, and yet he's maxed out on skills, so he can still like make his shots. But so Nico is caught. The cameraman for that last. It was the play-in game where the Mavs were about to survive.
Close.
He cuts to Nico Harrison with his arched eyebrows and like basically tented fingers in the crowd watching Anthony Davis limp off the court. Their season's over.
Yeah.
And the trade is basically kaput.
Yeah, done.
And this is after a week of just a debacle after fiasco of his PR and press appearances. Where he's not walking back, he's doubling down and saying that we're built for championships, and it's just a complete house of cards.
Oh, so bad! Like he should have said nothing. I think it was a Mark Twain thing. It's better to keep your mouth shut and have people assume you're an idiot rather than open it and confirm their suspicions. Probably butchered the quote, but it's you get the gist.
Spirit of it. Yeah,
yeah, great quote, but. He made this comment that he knew Luka meant something to the Mavericks fan base, but he didn't realize how much. I'm like, are you insane?
Yeah, he's got to go.
I'm like, this guy was their whole team. He literally put them on their back. A la Greg Jennings' Madden clip from YouTube like 15 years ago, which was awesome. But
as far as I know, they just had personal beef, and he didn't like that Luka didn't train like Kobe, that he had a hookah habit, and like he's a little doughy.
I don't.
Those European guys, they don't play defense, and they rely on slick, smooth passing and 40-foot throw-ups.
Yeah.
And Euro stepping and all that. Like Luka plays pretty slow too. I don't really like his style of play either.
Yeah, he's so good. He's so talented.
He made me a lot of money last playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but no, just obviously the Lakers look like they could potentially be on the ropes a little bit. Against Minnesota, they definitely got handled pretty well in that first game, and then lost the semi-close one on Friday night. But Luka, stomach flu, did not look like himself.
Stomach flu?
Yes.
Or he had way too many pierogies the night before.
It could have been that. That wasn't the official word, but it definitely could have been too many pierogies. But...
cause of injury, OP. That was the fakest laugh I've ever heard in my life. OP meaning he over pierogied. He didn't
It was a fake laugh because I didn't get the joke. And I assumed it was extremely clever and witty and decided to...
Subtext there?
Ha! A couple of coarse ha's.
Yeah, you can do a Jimmy Fallon and slap... Well, the table's over there, but get up and slap it. Well, your Lakers are 4 minutes from tip. I think they're my backup team. Obviously, I'm a Suns fan.
Yeah.
I've put my focus on the NHL playoffs because my Winnipeg Jets are on. I stopped watching them to record this, also because it was 1-1 and I was feeling stressed. But even if they drop this game, it's 2-2 going back. Actually, do they play 3 straight in the NHL when it's like games 3, 4, 5?
I don't know. They always change, and I think it's different sport to
NBA
sport.
goes.
It used to be
back.
Yeah. It used to be 2-3-2, which was like a big disadvantage to the home team, like the team that had 4 home games, because if you come back home down 3-2, that's not a great spot. But NBA changed it 2-2-1-1-1. I think
that's smarter,
and
that way they can extend it.
Yes,
and make probably like $1 million more per day per team.
Yes, that's Scott Foster, the extender. Yeah.
That's also my nickname around tax season.
Nice. The Scott Foster of tax extensions.
Yeah.
Nice.
Scott Foster's a ref known for getting stars that he dislikes into trouble for fouling, and then they don't play anymore, and then the other team that was in the media narrative that needing to catch up and even the series or whatever, like because the NBA and all their advertisers and all their broadcast partners are going to make a lot more money if they extend to as many games as possible.
It behooves them to play more games, for sure.
For sure. Yes. So Scott
thing.
Foster is the extender, the ref. He was also privy to hundreds of phone calls from that mobbed up ref Donaghy,
Oh, yes.
Donaghy,
Yeah.
which, during the exact times and days that guy was caught gambling on the games he was refereeing, he was also in specifically talking to, allegedly, of course, Scott Foster, the extender. But I'm the extender as far as tax season. One day I'll get it in on time. Never quite learned about punctuality there, but I'm sure I'll owe. And
It's a government sanctioned procrastination technique. It's okay.
I also call it non-stop. But
Oh, okay. Yes.
I don't know if I'll keep that in.
That's another term. Yeah.
But I'm sure you want to watch the Lakers, and that's Nico Harrison. I mean, it's crazy to see that villain arc of just ineptitude
Yeah.
when he was our childhood, one of our heroes, and he pops up.
Very strange. What a difference a year makes. Like I said, he was being hailed as a hero for making some great trades last year, picking up PJ Washington and Nico. As a Lakers fan, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I
As a backup Lakers fan,
I
good
appreciate
shit, man.
the gift.
Come on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, Nico.
We'll play nice.
You might have some free time soon, unfortunately. I understand the frustration, but
He's going to be working for New Balance.
This was a disaster. Yeah.
And the retiree 5Xs or whatever, the big clunky ones you see in the back of famous footwear are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully not working
Well,
on those.
and when people flame out, with all due respect, Fox Sports seems like they're always hiring. So
yeah, Shannon Sharp is flaming out this week too.
Oh, man.
Boy. Skip. I didn't do it. Skip.
yeah,
Oh, all right. Good enough, right?
yeah, good talk.
No, I think I got my. I don't think I'll be writing for Jimmy Kimmel anytime soon, but I did have 9 out of 10 of those quips were true sea lils, and we are going golfing again today.
We are, yeah.
Fingers are pre-taped.
I pre-taped.
I'm
my
wearing
fingers.
a jock, and I have already applied all that I need to apply to make sure there's no chub rub, if you know what I mean.
Oh, smart. You don't want that on a golf course.
I went on a 35-minute jog yesterday. It was like my thighs were like cheese graters.
Nice.
I'm in Hanoi Hilton levels of pain here right now.
Oh man, that's brutal.
All right.
Oh, there's no worse pain than some inner thigh chafing. I caddied for a friend in high school. It was like 100 degrees. It was in Billings. It was 36 holes, and my thighs were literally bleeding at the end of the round. It was terrible.
Yeah, Rob hamburger meat there.
Yeah, it was not great.
Give you that one a visual to wait for our next episode. Well, thanks. But it's been a pleasure.
Yes, thanks for hosting me. We're back out in Three Forks today, and a little bit better setup. Less cat allergies for one of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully the audio is better. I think it is. We might even have video one of these days.
That would be something.
You're still wearing amazing clothes for golf. I have a hockey jersey on. My Devin Booker Book Ones. That'll be great on the golf
Those are
course.
sweet, though.
The dress code at Three Forks Municipal is just, you know what? If you could just wear something up above swimsuit
Yeah.
and Crocs,
They
we'll
still
take you.
They still require pants.
We'll take you.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks, and we'll talk to you next time.